88.1 The Burg, your movie central. Welcome to What to Watch Weekends. My name is Nathan, the host of What to Watch Weekends. And I'm not the only person in the station today. Excuse me. There's also phlegm in my throat, but there's somebody else sitting across from me as well, if he'd like to introduce himself.
Hi, my name's Walter, and I'm not in your throat.
That's good. Yeah. I don't need anything else in my throat aside from the phlegm, I'll be honest with you. So, welcome back, Walter. It's been a
couple of weeks.
Couple of weeks, really?
Or like a week?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know
Yeah,
anymore.
I remember I was sick for the last week.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So it has been at least
At least one.
At least one.
Yeah.
So, we're back, and we're going to be talking about movies.
No way.
No way. I know,
Yeah.
shocker. But the movies we're going to be talking about are connected to the movies I talked about on Wednesday, which are going to be the Jurassic Park movies and one of the Jurassic World movies, and then something else. But that's a surprise for the end.
All right.
I'm hinting at it. Hint, hint. Not subtle at all. So, before we get to that, I think it's best to start at the beginning,
Yeah.
as we always do. And what better way to begin our series of Jurassic movies than starting with the original Jurassic Park from 1993, available to watch now on Peacock. Basic plot summary, if you're somehow unfamiliar with the original Jurassic Park, is it follows Alan Grant and Ellie Stratton. No, that's not her name. I say as I'm super familiar with this. I want to make sure I get Ellie's last name right. Let me just Google, so very quickly. Okay. Sattler. It follows Alan Grant and Ellie Sattler, along with mathematician Ian Malcolm, as they are enlisted by John Hammond to go and take a tour of his amusement park with dinosaurs. And things go horribly, 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 horribly wrong, as they tend to do when you decide to make an amusement park with dinosaurs,
Yeah.
We now know that to be a principle, although, of course, that principle was birthed from the original Jurassic Park. But, principle is principle, so point still stands. Let me see here. I have so much to say. I also don't have a lot to say because it's the original Jurassic Park. So let me ask you, what do you think of Jurassic Park, Walter?
So I've actually seen this movie a lot of times.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't want to say it's a movie that I like a whole lot. I mean, I like the movie.
Sure.
But it's not one of my favorites.
No.
It's just a movie I watch,
Once every couple of years, kind of a thing.
Yeah. Where to begin? I remember watching this movie for the first time when I was 6.
Yeah.
And thinking it was kind of scary.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah, but I don't know. I watch it now and I'm like, wow, dinosaurs are cool.
Yeah, and you're not 6 anymore.
Yeah,
and, I don't know, 15 years older than that now.
Yeah,
at least. Wait, is that how math? Yes.
Close
So
enough.
you're at least over 21. I know that much. So it's I'm not going to dox your age. I'm just we're both over 21. So that's that counts. More than 16 years later, you're now dinosaurs are cool. It's almost
Dinosaurs
the opposite because it's usually as an adult, when it comes to movies like this, you're introduced to them as a child, and it's wow, this is cool and filled with such adventure. And then you watch it as an adult, and you're I should not have been watching this as a child. Now it's man, as a child, I was horrified of this. This scared me, and now I'm just funny lizard.
Yeah,
funny. That's a very astute observation, but it is also one that I personally agree with very heavily. I don't remember how old I was. I don't think I was 6, but it wasn't far off from younger than 10 when I first saw this movie myself, and I also found it pretty scary. It's hard not to, honestly. I went into a whole lecture mode basically on Wednesday about how I would consider Jurassic Park a terror movie rather than a horror movie. And that's just my way of saying, a very pretentious way of saying it's not a horror movie, but it is a horror movie.
Right.
And I'm giving it pretension because it's the original Jurassic Park. So it kind of earns that right. You know what I mean? But I mean, just because it's whatever you classify it as, I mean, it's still scary.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be scary. It's supposed to be thrilling and exciting. It's supposed to get your blood pumping. It's supposed to get your heart rate racing. So it does that no matter what age you're at, I'd say, for sure.
Yeah.
With that being said, I think what enhances that experience greatly, especially in our current year of 2025, where we're watching movies on streaming platforms or maybe not watching it in the most ideal ways. For example, for many years, I used to watch this movie on VHS. Let me tell you, no matter how you watch it, you got to make sure to have speakers and watch it loud.
Yeah.
No matter what. I mean, have you watched this movie with headphones before?
I have.
Okay.
It hits not correctly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like thinking to myself, man, I got to rewatch the original Jurassic Park on my computer. And then I was like wearing my headphones. I'm like, but the T-Rex roar is not going to sound good with the headphones on. So I just threw all caution to the wind and turned on my speakers like late at night while watching this. And I told my roommate beforehand, like, hey, I'm going to watch Jurassic Park. I hope I'm not going to interrupt your sleep at all. But if you hear a roaring, that's what that is. And I just cranked them. And it's not
I bet
all
you
the
love
way.
that. Yeah.
Not all the way, but I did turn them up. I didn't have them like quiet. And I think that was probably the most smart decision I've made when watching a movie over these past couple months, for sure, especially in context of this show. You gotta watch them with speakers. You gotta watch it with speakers. I am sorry, my throat is just like, for some reason there is something in there and I'm sounding way too raspy for my own good. But what's clearing your throat a couple times when you're talking on the radio anyways? Let me see here. I mentioned the T-Rex roar not sounding correctly. This is where I bring up an interesting point that I just did not have time for on Wednesday. And I wanted to get your take on this. Have you ever noticed that they kind of middle load Jurassic Park?
What do you mean?
What I mean is, so I'm going to phrase it like middle load, but think of it like this, right? In traditional Hollywood structure, right? They usually save their biggest set piece for the end of the movie. Not always, but generally they like to save the biggest explosion for the last part of the movie, right?
Right.
And they save like the big confrontation with the villain for the end of the movie. In Jurassic Park, while it is not the main villain, arguably the biggest physical villain is the T-Rex.
Right.
And while the Velociraptor is given more build-up and is kind of introduced earlier on, the T-Rex is arguably the more iconic part of the movie. I mean, the poster has a T-Rex on it.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like there's kind of this push and pull between which one is the biggest one. And arguably, again, the biggest set piece is the T-Rex encounter. Right?
Right.
And that's smack dab in the middle of the movie. And then the ending set piece is physically not as big, but thematically a bit bigger with the Velociraptors in, you know, the kitchen and then throughout the main hall and as they leave and stuff like that.
Right.
Do you see what I'm saying now?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad choice. I'm saying it's an interesting choice. I'm saying I personally, if I was doing it, I would honestly probably due to inexperience or maybe just lack of confidence in my own writing ability or ability to direct, I personally would have put the T-Rex at the end because it's the generic thing to do.
Yeah,
right?
Right.
Because that's the normal thing to do.
Yeah, because it's, you know, because I'm just thinking of like, how would I word this?
Yeah.
Like all the action of, I guess, basically of when they introduced the T-Rex.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it could rip a car open.
Yeah.
Right? It could like pick it up.
Yeah.
That wasn't until about halfway through the movie.
Yeah. Yeah. And that is like the big element. Again, I think it was the correct choice to make because they already showed the Velociraptor at the very beginning. They hype them up as this like ultimate killer. They are the main villains of the movie, for sure. And so it's not the incorrect choice. It just to me was a bit, I guess what I'm getting at, I mean, with the T-Rex being able to tear apart the car, you'd again think that the physically biggest thing would be at the end.
Right.
Right? That's just the common sense. And while it may not sound extremely unique when I say it out loud, it does at least help somewhat. I guess what I'm getting at is I want to ask your opinion. Would you prefer if they put the T-Rex at the end, or do you think it works where it is in the middle?
I think it works really well having that part in the middle.
Right. Good to know.
Yeah.
No, yeah. That's
I'm trying to imagine in my head like how different just the pacing would be, you know?
I'm starting to think about that
Yeah.
too. And we can't like imagine in silence because we are on radio,
Right.
you know. But we could take a second and just kind of,
Yeah.
I wonder. No, let me think here, because on the one hand, it would be the physically biggest thing, but on the other hand, if the Velociraptor sequence happened in the middle of the movie, you'd kind of have all the payoff done already.
Yeah.
Because it's the thing that's introduced in the first ever scene of the movie. Alan Grant has the Velociraptor claw. I mean, directly after the T-Rex encounter, he basically throws away that Velociraptor claw, which is almost the setup of like, remember the Velociraptor, guys. It's still out there somewhere. It's gonna come up later. And I mean, the entire like last act of the movie honestly wouldn't work. There would be no tension because there's no Velociraptor chasing Ellie after she like turns on all the power. There's no like clever girl moment, you know.
Yeah.
There's no like Samuel
None of that,
Jackson
yeah.
being left as only an arm, you know. Like there's none of that original tension. All of that tension is just completely lost. So while it would have made sense to put it at the end, I am now even more glad they didn't. And it does work extremely better, yes, extremely well.
Yeah.
That it is where it is. You know?
Yeah.
It was just a thing it's just a thing I thought of. It's so again, it's so hard to like critique a movie like Jurassic Park when it's basically it's like a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
You know? It's like I'm of the same camp as you, where I've seen it quite a few times. In fact, I once made this stupid excuse to my aunt that I've seen it too many times, which sounds so ridiculous to say out loud now. Because honestly, it's just like, it's easy to watch multiple times.
Right.
You don't ever really get sick of it. I mean,
It's like one of those movies that's like the movie equivalent of saying, "Oh, I like to drink water," right? Well, not saying it's like boring.
No.
But like, you know what I mean.
Yeah, you know what to expect.
Yeah.
It's going to give you...
It's been around
for long enough that people know what it is.
Yeah.
Everybody knows about it. Everybody knows it's iconic. I mean, you can... It's such a weird analogy, but it does work.
You know what I mean.
I know exactly what you mean. That's the weird part about it. It's like, put that on the VHS slipcover. Jurassic Park, it's like water of movies. Oh, that's beautiful. Honestly, I think almost. I mean, I had so much more to say, but I think one thing I'll end on, because I could go on and on, because it's Jurassic Park, you know.
Right.
I'll end with two very quick things. One, everybody like Jeff Goldblum and Sam Neill and Richard Attenborough are great in this movie. However, Laura Dern is awesome as Ellie Sattler. You know why?
Yeah.
Because she's awesome. I will say there was one quip in this movie that I did not pick up on when I was a kid that now as an adult I appreciate so much. At some point when they're in the bunker and she's about to head out with like the walkie-talkies and the Australian British guy, dude with the hunting hat. Yeah. She says she's talking with Hammond, and Hammond goes, "Well, maybe you should stay behind because I'm a and you're a." He's basically saying, "I'm a man, you're a woman. I should go out there." And her response is, "We'll talk about sexism in survivalist situations when I get back." And that moment right there was perfect. Don't you just love that quote?
Yes.
That's an awesome quote. And it's very, very good. Well written, actually achieves something, and she says it on her way out the door as she's about to go do something that is relevant to the plot. Take notes, Hollywood. Take notes. Thank you. Now then, the other thing I really wanted to bring up is, I will say, Spielberg is kind of I'd call him like the movie magic director in a way.
Yeah.
Right? He's the one where you can tell everything is very fake or very much staged, but it enhances the experience of the movie. I mean, you've seen the original Indiana Jones movie before.
Yeah, I have.
That is another good example. I mean, was that directed by Spielberg or was that directed by George Lucas? I forget, because I know they worked together on that. I'm going to look real stupid. Okay, no, it was directed by Steven Spielberg. Whew! Dodged a bullet there. Point is, the original Indiana Jones is like this as well, where it's obviously all on what?
Oh, I had to look up what the character's name was in Jurassic Park.
Which character?
The fat guy who wears the Hawaiian shirts.
Dennis Nedry.
Yeah.
Nedry.
Nedry.
Yep. He's just literally
Yeah.
us. Anyways, no. Spielberg, movie magic director. His movies feel a bit like an amusement park, in a way where you can tell stuff is faked, but it enhances your enjoyment of the movie.
Right.
And I will say, for a movie about dinosaurs in an amusement park, hiring the movie magic amusement park director is a really good choice. You're nodding like you understand exactly what I'm saying, which I take it you do.
Yeah.
I just felt I should mention that because honestly, I mean, the end result speaks for itself. It's Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
We all know it's Jurassic Park. We all know Spielberg because of it. I mean, he made other movies, but he also made Jurassic Park. So there's that. Cool. With that being said, we're going to have a lot more to talk about after the break when we jump into things like Jurassic Park 2 and 3. So stick around for that. 88.1 The Burg, your movie central. Welcome back to What to Watch Weekends. My name is Nathan, the host of What to Watch Weekends.
And my name is Walter.
You are here as well.
I'm here. Yeah.
You're here. Welcome back, Walter, and welcome back to the audience. So, for our second movie on the watch list, or the second movie we're just going to be talking about tonight, after talking about the first Jurassic Park for like 15 minutes, but saying over and over again, it's super iconic, we're not going to go into now. That sounded like I said we're not going to. We're now going to go into the not so iconic follow-up. There we go. I threw a knot again. So, the next movie we're talking about is The Lost World Jurassic Park from 1997, available to watch on Peacock. For the basic plot summary, we follow Ian Malcolm, played by Jeff Goldblum, as he goes to Isla Sorna to rescue his girlfriend, Sarah, who's been sent there by John Hammond from the first movie again. And, many thoughts and feelings. Actually, not very many thoughts and feelings. It just kind of sucks.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was saying that I've seen this movie maybe twice ever.
Yeah.
And I think that's enough.
Yep.
Yeah.
Honestly, saying it more than once is too many, if I'm being completely real. I've seen it twice myself, and I'm just kind of like, weirdly enough, when I first watched it, I was like a teenager, and I thought it was like decent, but...
Well, I was the opposite. I saw it when I was in like middle school, and I was at. I remember specifically watching it on VHS,
right,
and then being like, "This movie kind of stinks."
I may have honestly thought that it stunk even as a teenager. I just had like rose-tinted goggles on for some reason because I was just like a kid who didn't know anything, and suddenly thought, "Oh, it's fine, guys." That's funny that you mentioned that, though, because I do, just for the sake of a joke, my parents had Jurassic Park on VHS for the longest time, so when I moved to college, I took that with me. And then I was at Goodwill a while, like, I think a couple months back, and I saw that they had The Lost World on VHS with, like, a little 3D card thing.
Yeah.
So I actually ended up buying it. So now I have both the original and 2 on VHS. And now I'm going to, like, hope that I can eventually get the third one on VHS as well, because that'd be very, very, very funny.
Very funny, yeah.
Very funny, but funny to mention that. Yeah. Let's see here. What's something new I can say? Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's just kind of mid.
Yeah, it's just kind of mid. You know what? Let's go into a weird rant here. Let's go into a very weird rant. You ready for this?
Yes.
Cool. So, at some point in this movie, I didn't mention this on Wednesday, even though I very much, very, very, very wanted to. So in The Lost World, Jurassic Park, there's, Jeff Goldblum, played by Ian Malcolm. He brings his daughter. He's got his girlfriend, who's Julianne Moore. And then there's this environmental activist who's also the videographer, who is apparently named Nick Van Owen according to the Google search. He's played by Vince Vaughn, okay? The actor Vince Vaughn.
Right.
Now, Vince Vaughn is fine, but here's the thing. He is a videographer and environmentalist who protests, the environment being destroyed. And he's going to a dinosaur island. Okay. Here's where I say some things. I have some choice words. No swearing because we're on the radio. But let's get something clear, okay? When about halfway through this movie, Vince Vaughn is picking up a baby T-Rex and taking it back to their camper van and going, "We need to fix the T-Rex's broken leg." All I start to do is yell at the screen and go, "Are you people stupid? It's a baby T-Rex." The T-Rexes, which we have confirmed there are 2 of them, by the way, are not going to let you just take their baby back to your trailer and let you heal the leg. They're not going to be okay with that. They're gigantic lizards who don't have any human emotion and do not understand, and they want to take care of their baby, and you have prevented them from taking care of their baby. You have taken it to your trailer. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. So, I'm going to just let's see here. I have such stupid notes for this part. Okay, so, but basically what happens is that Sarah and Vince Vaughn, or Julianne Moore and Vince Vaughn, take this baby T-Rex back to their trailer, they heal its leg, and then they put it back out on the ground and give it back to the 2 giant T-Rexes. And they don't ever stop to think, hey, this is a bad idea. The T-Rexes might attack us. You know who does stop and think about that? Ian Malcolm, played by Jeff Goldblum. All he does is he goes, guys, this is not a good idea. We need to make sure to return it very soon. The T-Rexes are going to come and they're going to kill us all. How'd you like that Jeff Goldblum impression?
That was pretty good.
Thank you. So he's telling them to put it back, and they're not doing it because, we need to save the environment. We need to save this little animal that's helpless and defenseless. And then they put it back on the ground, and then it's 30 seconds later, the T-Rexes start attacking the trailer.
Yeah.
Good job, guys. Nice job. You basically end up hanging over a cliff because of your stupid decision. It's such a stupid idea. You think the T-Rex was going to just leave you alone? No. This is not a hostage negotiation situation. This is a T-Rex. And even in hostage negotiation situations, they probably wouldn't leave you alone anyways. So you know what? Screw it. Here's the point. Leave the baby T-Rex there. If it dies, that's fine. You could let it die. The baby T-Rex does not need to exist in the first place. I have no sympathy for an ugly little cretin that is a baby T-Rex. Let's put it quite simply this way. The T-Rex should not exist in the first place. It has gone extinct millions of years ago. It existing in the year 1997 means that it is overdue for returning to being extinct. It is renewed without an expiration date. It has an extra card on hand to cash in because it has checked out too many books one too many times, and it's no chance of ever returning them. It should not be here. We should not allow it to sign up for any more free trials.
Yeah.
I got a little carried away. I was like, how many library analogies can I make to represent how much I don't think the baby T-Rex deserves to live? And I stumbled upon 3. And then I just tried ranting a little bit more and it didn't work. But, the first 3 were funny. So, what?
What? I was going to say, what does the library have to do with Jurassic Park?
I would say, yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. They the first movie was based on a book.
That's fair.
And so was the second movie. So.
Yeah.
That's such a valid question. What do they have to do with libraries? Not much. But I had too much fun with the idea of just saying that it hadn't returned enough books in the span of time. I just was so bored by the movie that I had to come up with silly analogies to keep myself entertained. So
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, there we go. That's the other reason I came up with that. It's nothing in particular. It's just like I was so bored. Might as well just refer to the library for no other reason. Anyways, here's I think my point I'm trying to make is, I mean, you're a geography person.
Yeah.
And I would assume you're like, you care about the environment to some capacity.
Right.
So even you could understand me when I say this part. It's hard to agree with an environmentalist in a movie when they're in a place that defies nature. AKA has dinosaurs grown in a lab with DNA from bullfrogs to fill in the gaps and makes them giant lizards instead of giant birds. Right?
Right.
Do you like, you agree with that standpoint of it's hard to agree with an environmentalist in that environment, right?
Right.
You agree with that?
Yeah.
It's very hard to agree with them.
I'm trying to think of what I would say, but I don't know.
I get you.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like, come on, get the brain back in gear.
Right.
Just think about it, okay? I'm gonna pretend to be Vince Vaughn. Hey, my name's Vince Vaughn. That's not a Vince Vaughn impersonation.
I don't know. It works.
Okay. My name's Vince Vaughn. We're going to save a baby T-Rex and get it back on its legs. And we're going to bring it back to our trailer. There's a bunch of T-Rexes. They deserve to live because they existed hundreds of millions of years ago. And they're no longer extinct. So they have rights as animals now. What do you say to that, buddy?
I'd say that's like kind of stupid.
Exactly.
Well, actually, like pretty stupid because they were like, well, the like biggest predators, and they'll just like kill and eat everything, right? So I'm like, what are you even doing, dude? Like, yeah.
See, this is exactly the point I was trying to make.
Just leave it alone. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. That's exactly what I was looking for, and you provided in spades. So, with all that being said, I will admit I don't think the music in Jurassic World 2, wow, The Lost World, Jurassic Park, the music is not as iconic as the first movie, but sometimes it fits the action a bit better. But I'm really stretching for compliments right now.
Yeah.
I just need to like throw something positive out there before we close out on The Lost World. And I also want to mention that I don't know if I said this on Wednesday. Literally the next day after I had finished watching The Lost World, I forgot that I finished watching it. I was thinking to myself, don't I have like 20 minutes left on that movie? Oh, wait, no, I don't. I finished it last night, in theory, apparently. So that should tell you exactly how high quality of a movie The Lost World is. It's just so lame. I mean, I've used that word a couple times.
The first time when I watched it, I never finished it because I'm like, this is kind of just boring.
Yeah.
I'm going to go play Minecraft or whatever,
Yeah.
do something else.
Do something else. It does leave that taste in your mouth of just like, we could be doing anything else. And that's definitely not going to be a trend that's going to slow down anytime soon. But we're going to take a quick break so we're not talking for too long here all in a row. And when we come back, we'll jump into the third movie, and then we'll continue on from there. So stick around. 88.1 The Burg, your movie central. Welcome back to What to Watch Weekends. My name is Nathan.
And my name is Walter.
And we are back to continue our talk with the Jurassic Park movies. And then over the course of the next hour, we're going to talk about some Jurassic World and something else. But you'll have to wait and see what that is. Regardless of the point, we ended off our last break with Jurassic Park 2, or The Lost World Jurassic Park, which should have just been called Jurassic Park 2. So now we're going to move into the one that's actually conventionally named, which is Jurassic Park 3.
And I haven't seen this one.
Okay, so let's go over it real quickly. We're going to be talking about Jurassic Park 3 from 2001, available to watch now on Peacock. For the basic plot summary of Jurassic Park 3, we follow Alan Grant, again from the first movie. This time around, he is tricked by a wealthy couple to go to Isla Sorna, and he is tasked with finding their son, who has been stranded on the island. Yep,
Yeah.
that's the plot. Okay, so Jurassic Park 3 has held a very weird place in my brain for a long time until I rewatched it. This was a movie that I watched after seeing The Lost World, right?
Right.
I decided to watch the other two Jurassic Park movies, and I was like, okay, I'll watch these two. And I watched Jurassic Park 3, and I weirdly remember liking it at the time. Rewatching it, it was not exactly that. It didn't exactly live up to my old expectations. Part of the reason for that is, okay, get ready for me to drop a bit of a bombshell on you, Walter. Have you ever seen a movie where it doesn't look like they did any color correction to it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's Jurassic Park 3. Great. I would have preferred them just heavily saturating everything than this like flat, gray, boring look to it. Cause honestly, it looks so stupid. What's a good image? I mean, this is more color corrected than the movie had, honestly. Maybe it was because I was watching it on Amazon Prime. So I'm going to throw out that disclaimer right now. But at the same time, I don't think Prime would have messed it up that badly. I honestly think it just did not have color correction. But we could talk all day about that, and we're not going to. Here's the thing. Jurassic Park 3 was not directed by Spielberg. It had no involvement from Michael Crichton. Michael Crichton did not write a third Jurassic Park book. And so it just kind of exists for the sake of it.
I see.
And I'll give it this much. It's inoffensive for just existing for the sake of it. It's nothing more than inoffensive, but it is quite inoffensive. So
It's funny you say that. My one friend who's like super into Jurassic Park stuff.
Yeah.
I remember a while back him not recommending me this movie.
Right.
And he's like, well, if you thought Jurassic Park 2 was kind of mid, this one's even more kind of mid.
I can agree with that because objectively, or at least in my opinion,
Yeah.
it's a better made movie than 2, but it's not like you can kind of laugh at the second movie for how bad it is at points, maybe, or there's like one scene every 30 minutes that's like decent enough to keep you watching it.
Right.
The third movie is just so overall bland.
Yeah.
That-
So
It's just like, eh.
I just thought of that. So I said Jurassic Park 1 is like drinking water.
Uh-huh.
This literally is like water.
Yeah.
It's like nothing. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like the it's not stuff you get from the tap. It's Crystal Alpine spring water.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like it's more
It's water.
It's more watery water, and
More
I'm like
water for water.
more water per water, and I'm
Yeah.
just like, why did you spend the extra effort into that water when you didn't need to? We already have water at home, quite literally.
Yeah.
That is, again, like with Jurassic Park, we have the original movie, we have the original novel. We don't really need anything more. Why are you doing more? Didn't really need to do it. It's still going to hydrate me. I'm still going to get something out of it, maybe. Kind of. I mean, there's at least some entertaining moments in Jurassic Park 3. Okay, there's one stretch of entertaining stuff in Jurassic Park 3. One stretch of about 20 minutes in Jurassic Park 3 that's entertaining compared to the rest of the bland nothing. I'll say this much. There's a part that I've always remembered. It goes from a timestamp, right? Okay, so the first Jurassic Park and Jurassic Park 2 are about 2 hours long, right?
Right.
And all the Jurassic World movies are also over 2 hours long. Jurassic Park 3 is an hour and a half long.
Okay.
And from the hour mark to the hour and 20-minute mark, it is legitimately enjoyable. Because there's a scene in which the characters all go into this big bird cage. And it is super foggy, super closed off, and they basically have to run across this rickety, very, very dilapidated, fenced-off area with, like, essentially great sort of walkways and paths and surrounding walls. and avoid being attacked by pteranodons. You know, the flying dinosaurs?
The flying guys.
Flying guys,
Flying guys, yeah.
And while it can get a bit cheesy and over the top during that sequence, it is also the most engaging part, partially due to the fog, partially due to the tension created by it, and partially because it actually makes the pteranodons threatening in a capacity. I even remember watching this as a teenager and thinking, that scene's pretty good. That scene's probably the only good part of this movie, but that scene's pretty good. And then the end of the movie, the last 5 minutes are so Deus Ex Machina that it was like, oh, great. I sat through that like decent 20 minutes to get this ending. Can we go back to the Pteranodon enclosure, please? Can we do that, please? Please, please, I bet, please. Yeah. I mean, that's surprising, at least, that there's a 20-minute sequence in there that's at least somewhat bearable, I suppose. Is that surprising to you at all, or no?
I guess in a little bit. A little bit.
Oh.
Oh no.
Okay. Well, since I'm like, it's so bland water, and it's like, what am I supposed to say with water? You can freeze it. Yeah. Well, let's just throw in some. let's mix things up and throw in some clam chowder into that ice cube, huh? So, one thing I can say for certain about Jurassic Park 3 is that every character runs weird.
Huh.
I honestly think that they spent time coaching the actors, including Sam Neill, to run in a weirdly specific way when trying to escape the dinosaurs. To me, it looks like they have been coached by the director how each character is supposed to run, and they're overthinking their running.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
Why would you do that? Yeah.
I don't think they did.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, my insane brain was looking at that and going, can you imagine if the guy who directed this movie, who, by the way, directed the movie October Sky and The Rocketeer and the original Captain America? Can you imagine if he took the time to go, okay, Sam Neill, I want you to run like you got ants in your pants. Okay, I want you to run like you're a security guard who accidentally smacked himself in the leg with his own baton. Okay, you, William H. Macy, with a mustache, I want you to run like you're wading through, I don't know, a bunch of Jell-O. Okay? Now you,
Yeah. I'd love to believe that, but I'd love to believe, like, they're just thinking about running too much while they're running.
Yep.
That's so weird. I'm thinking of that in my head, and
yeah. I mean, hopefully those visuals I gave of like run through Jell-O were helping you visualize this just a little bit. I will also say that some of the action sequences in this movie are paced so weird. It's like, okay, imagine this, right? Imagine you're watching a plane crash and all your main characters are in the main cockpit area, right? And you watch the cockpit kind of roll down a hill type of a thing, right?
Right.
So you're imagining you're watching the movie version of that, or you're watching this in a movie. And as it rolls over during one specific shot, as it starts to roll further down the mountain or further down the hill, it randomly speeds up as it gets to the bottom.
Yeah.
Like the footage itself speeds up. And then imagine during that action sequence where it keeps happening, it just keeps doing that every so often. It's an experience of you don't really notice it the first time and think it could have been a mistake or a streaming issue. And then you see it happen again and again, and you're like, wait, hang on, is this just how they edited the movie? It's not exactly a good thing. It's more like what am I watching right now? This is such a weird approach to action. You could have just not done that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a weird way. This whole movie just sounds weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just doesn't need to exist, but it's like inoffensive for existing. It like has maybe the funny quirk of the actors running weird, but at the same time they bring up the velociraptors and then like the main villain is the Spinosaurus for some reason, question mark. I don't know why it's the Spinosaurus. It's just so that's not even like a disgusted That's more like a
Yeah.
I've eaten some rice cakes with Crystal Alpine spring water to wash it down. And now I'm just going to eat some, I don't know, just like white bread.
Yeah.
Just a white, it's
Water and white bread.
I'm going to put the rice cake in between two slices of bread and call it a rice cake sandwich. And I'm just going to drink some water with it.
Yeah.
That's just what Jurassic Park 3 is. 2 thumbs up. Movie of the year. No, absolutely not.
It exists.
It exists.
Yeah.
You could watch it if you want to, but why would you want to?
So I forget. I believe it was Noah who was on the Ghostbusters episode.
Yeah.
Who coined this term to me.
Conned,
haha. That it's what we would call a airplane movie. One of those movies that just kind of you watch on an airplane because it's there and it's on the little TV screen thing on the back of your seat.
Yeah. You know what?
100% feels like one of those kind of movies.
Yeah, except for the part at the beginning where the airplane crashes and then somebody in the back row is watching you watch this movie like, this does not help my nerves because they're afraid of flying.
Okay. Well,
but yes.
Yeah.
Yes, though. It is an airplane movie. But there is an airplane crash, so it's maybe like, well, you could like make sure the person behind you won't be watching the movie if they're afraid of flying. But other than that caveat, yes, absolutely. I feel like we've said more than they could ever be said, but I've perplexed you at some points, and that to me is an achievement. So we are going to go to break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about some other stuff. So stick around for that. 88.1 The Burg, your movie central. Welcome back to What to Watch Weekends. My name is Nathan.
My name is Walter.
And we are back. So, after talking about Jurassic Park 3 and Jurassic Park 2 and the original Jurassic Park for way longer than we should have, but we had fun talking about them anyways, so it doesn't matter. But after talking about those movies, it's decided that we were going to talk about something else. So, in order to talk about something else, as they like to say in the world of Monty Python, now for something completely different, but also not something completely different because it's not going to be all that different. We are going to talk about the original Jurassic World from 2015, available to watch now on Peacock. Yay! So, basic plot summary, the original Jurassic World. We follow 2 kids who go and visit their aunt for a certain amount of time. And she's the manager of Jurassic World, a brand new amusement park with dinosaurs. On Isla Nublar, not Isla Sorna, because that's from the second and third movies. No, this is Isla Nublar, the island from the first movie. You know?
Yeah.
And it's open to the public. And it's now actively running, and there's a bunch of dinosaurs.
What could possibly go wrong?
What could possibly go wrong? I mean, it's not like this is set in the same universe where the original Jurassic Park movies happened, and it's not like Isla Nublar was the exact site of the original Jurassic Park in this universe at all. Oh, wait, it totally is.
Wait, yeah.
So they had every opportunity to learn from their mistakes, and they didn't. And that goes for the people making the movie as well. They had every chance to learn from the mistake of Jurassic Park 3 and even 2 to some extent of not needing to make them. And they didn't, and they made Jurassic World instead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any of the Jurassic World movies. Yeah. I forgot how many there was.
There's 4.
There's 4, yeah.
Yeah, there's 4. There's this one.
I have, however, seen the Red Letter Media review of the first one a while ago.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm probably never going to watch this movie.
Yeah.
Or really any of them.
Yeah, that's fair. So here's something I should bring up like right now. Well, I mean, first of all, why would you make another park on the exact same island from the first movie? Okay, so now that that's out of my system for the next 5 minutes at least, maybe 3, we'll see how far I get. But I think the first thing I really want to bring up is that I first saw Jurassic World a long time ago. And by that, I mean, I may have seen it like a couple years, like only 2 to 3 years after seeing the original Jurassic Park. I remember watching it with my grandparents, and I remember being kind of excited around the time it came out. I remember that Dairy Queen was doing some like Blizzard promotion thing with it at the time, and that was cool because I got a Blizzard after an orchestra concert, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
So the long and short of it was, I remember this movie, and I remember seeing it even as a kid and going to myself, yeah, that kind of sucked. As a kid. Here's the thing. I think Jurassic World broke my brain to a certain point because it essentially set out the template of every single unnecessary, lacking in quality, generic, flat, uninteresting sequel for any other sequel movie I ever saw. It is so middle of the road and so bland and just contradicts itself enough to the point where I'm going, this cheap, like inauthentic feeling is what I'm expecting from every single sequel movie that I go into from now on. That's how much and how little Jurassic World has impacted my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If that makes a lick of sense.
I don't know. They all just kind of like mush together, even though there's 4 of them.
Yeah.
And the 4th one just came out. So
Yep. Yeah. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Don't you worry. So here's part of the reason they mush together, I think. Have you ever tried searching up any of these movies online before?
No.
When you try searching up Jurassic Park, it's going to give you like the newest Jurassic World movie. And when you try searching Jurassic World, it's going to give you the newest Jurassic World movie. And when you try searching up any of the other two in between the first Jurassic World and the newest Jurassic World, it's going to give you the newest Jurassic World movie. The search engine optimization is so messed up for these movies. It is ridiculous. It's like, I just want to search up the original Jurassic Park. I don't care about the new one, guys. Come on. I get it. It's out. It's been out. Shut up. Please. Please, I beg you. Sorry, I needed to rant about that. Now I'm like completely lost. Okay. Let's get into some positives. Okay? Before I just continue to rip this movie to shreds and then get tired and stop ripping it to shreds and just give up. Okay?
Okay.
We've got a ticket. My brain is a ticking time bomb, and the fuse has been lit. So we're going to ride this wave as much as we possibly can. So there are at least 2 interesting concepts in Jurassic World that I think are executed enough. Not decently, enough.
Enough.
So the first thing is that unlike the original movie, the park is already open to the public. On the one hand, that means that we get higher stakes because if the dinosaurs get out, a bunch of people are at risk.
Right.
On the other hand, there's less people for us to keep track of when the dinosaurs get out, start putting people in danger.
Yeah.
And so there's a less of a personal feel to that idea. But granted, it is already opened. I honestly think, now looking at it, that the first movie could have benefited from having the park already open to the public. But at the same time, it would have lost that personal feeling. And we already kind of get that feeling from having the grandkids in there. They're the customers that are already there before they're supposed to be. So, you know what? The original movie doesn't even need it. I was going to say that it could have worked in the original movie. No, it wouldn't have worked in the original movie. The original movie is good as it is. It doesn't really need that. So it's a concept that is kind of interesting on paper, but the more I think about it, the more execution, it's just like, yeah, it kind of sounds interesting, but now that I've seen it in action, I don't think they should have done it. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So already my first interesting point has turned into a not interesting point. Okay. Oopsie daisies. So, second point. This is where it gets really frustrating. Okay. So put on your environmentalist hat here, Walter.
Okay.
You've got your Bass Pro Shops
Bass
hat.
Pro Shop hat.
So you've got that hat on. That's
Close enough.
Close enough. So let me put on the Vince Vaughn accent. No, I can't even do it. Okay. So do you remember how in the original Jurassic Park, look at me, sir. Do you remember how in the Jurassic Park series, they put bullfrog DNA into the dinosaurs?
Right.
And they used other genes to kind of fill out the gaps because of genetic sequencing. What if, hear me out, they made a genetic abomination of a T-Rex where they took genes from a bunch of other animals and put them into one?
I know this part because it was like the plot of the movie was them fighting like the Supersaurus.
Yes.
I don't remember what it was called.
The Indominus Rex.
That's what it's called.
The Indominus
Supersaurus sounds cooler.
Yeah,
so.
it does.
Yeah. It's just like,
does.
yeah.
The Supersaurus.
I know that much.
Yeah. It's like, part raptor, which is a spoiler, by the way, but it's also like a T-Rex and it can camouflage itself. And I honestly forgot that it was white. It had like white skin until I rewatched the movie. That's how much it like impacted my life. I remembered what the color of the dinosaur was. Look at me. Wow. Ow. Owie. Stubbed my toe. I didn't actually. I wish I stubbed my toe. That would have been more interesting than this movie. I'll be fully honest with you. Jurassic World, it's less interesting than stubbing your toe, and you'll want to stub your toe by the time it's over with. Anyways, oh yeah, let me pitch this idea to you, Walter. Imagine they have Chris Pratt training raptors to be used in military combat. Doesn't that sound like a great idea?
No. Yeah. Oh, that sounds fantastic. But
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I have to acknowledge something.
The sudden no.
Yeah. Because normally you just say, yeah, no. But that,
yeah.
Because it's not a bad thing. I noticed you say yeah.
I just say yeah a lot.
You say yeah a lot. And the fact that you switched it up just to go, no. That got me pretty good. But it's so valid. It's the right reaction to have. It's a stupid idea and it's a stupid execution. And I don't know why Chris Pratt is so popular. He's not bad, but he's certainly not great in this movie, and he's just kind of there. I'll say this much. I remember him having more of a Southern accent, and he does not have a Southern accent. He's just Chris Pratt. So there's that, at least. Yay. Okay. This hurts. This hurts so much. Okay, I'm almost done with Jurassic World. Okay, I'm gonna speed run these next couple of points before I lose my sanity altogether. And I'm saving that for our last movie of the night. So, let's keep this going pretty quickly. So, CGI is fine. Acting is awful. Well, it ranges from boring to awful. Boring in the form of the aunt that the two kids go and visit, because the aunt and the kid's mother talk on the phone with each other, and there's a certain point that I always remember being so emotionally unimpactful that it stuck out in my head like a sore thumb for the last at least 10 years of my life, which is a part where the sister who's running Jurassic Park goes, or Jurassic World, I don't even care anymore. She goes, "Oh wow, you're starting to sound like mom, sister." And the sister, the mother of the two kids, goes, "Yeah, I am starting to sound like mom." And all I could sit there and think about was how I've heard my own mother and my aunt have more convincing conversations than these two women on screen. And I'm just like, if I wanted to hear this kind of conversation, I would just listen into their conversations, okay? I wouldn't be watching Jurassic World, let's put it that way. Now then, It's interesting that I put it that way because my aunt is such a fan of the Jurassic movies to begin with. That's an important plot point to pay off later. Thank you, Nathan Brain, for going that direction. Anyways, moving on. It ranges to bad in the form of the kids themselves. The younger kid is fine. He's all curious and he has knowledge because, I don't know, he probably gets bullied in school. I don't care. But the older brother is a teenager. And the more I think about it, the more I realize to myself, man, young kids are actually good at acting. Teenagers suck at acting because they suck. I hate teenagers so very much. In movies in particular, all they do is they're on their phones, complain about reception, and die. That's all they're good for. Otherwise, they complain about being in a place for kids when looking at giant holographic dinosaurs and real dinosaurs in front of their very eyes. You are in Jurassic World. There's a dinosaur in front of you. Get a life, you dweeb. That's my response.
Yeah.
I'm so ticked off at this. I'm sorry. That was such a rant. That was a rant and a half right there. But it is, do you agree with any of it?
Yeah.
Good.
All of it. Good.
There we go. Mission accomplished. I think, okay, I'm almost done. Okay, there's a part in this movie where the head security guard is like, I'm going to take over the park and I'm going to use the velociraptors for warfare to fight the Indominus Rex. Cool. Okay, he's the only entertaining character, and even then, he's not that entertaining. At a certain point, he has a bunch of his, cronies flying in a helicopter, flying to the island, and one of them just points a gun at a flying dinosaur, pulls the trigger, and it just shoots a little flying dinosaur out of the air. And for some reason, that boom.
What?
I don't know what it was. I was just so bored that the only interesting thing happening was seeing a guy try to act tough by shooting what was the equivalent to the size of I don't know, an extra wide pigeon. Shooting that out of the sky was really funny to me because I was tuning in and out. And by the time I got to that moment, I looked at the time bar and I'm like, I got 40 minutes of this movie left. Why? I'm so done. I've never liked the original Jurassic World. And
there's 3 more of them.
We're not talking about the rest of the 3. I struggled enough with the first one. So,
I just looked it up, and the first Jurassic World, I almost called it the Jurassic Park.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but the first Jurassic World came out in 2015, which was 10 years ago.
No way.
Yeah. I was telling Nathan at the break that I totally didn't know there was a new one that just came out until I started seeing Jurassic World just advertised on just random irrelevant products like Jurassic World themed Dorito chips.
Yep.
And just weird things like that. And I'm like, this has nothing to do with anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll give them this much. They are good at getting people to just market stuff.
Yeah.
They're really good at marketing the nostalgia. Maybe they should be better at making movies, though. Yeah. So, okay. We'll touch on the newest one for a brief moment in the next break. But to transition us out of Jurassic Park and World territory, I have a very interesting question for you, Walter. And it's something that will be relevant. So I want you to focus up and answer this question honestly. So at some point, again, they were training the velociraptors for warfare. So I want you to think of this question during the break. And I want the audience to think about this question as well. If you had a choice between using artificial intelligence or velociraptors in a war, which one would you choose?
The choice is obvious.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Which one?
I would choose velociraptors because that just sounds cool.
Duh.
Yeah.
I would choose velociraptors because imagine this, no matter which two countries you're fighting, both are going to lose.
Yeah.
Because once the velociraptors are done charging the enemies, they're going to come right back at you, and everybody's going to die. And to me, that thought is too good to pass up. And if that ever happened, I think you and I would be the first people to grab one of those Panasonic cameras we've used before, one of those like documentary built cameras, and go out into the wild and just film all of it happening. The footage alone would be gold because all of it would be such unhinged chaos. So without further ado, we're going to go to break. And when we come back, we will be talking about some more things associated with dinosaurs and war. So stick around to see what that's going to be. 88.1 The Burg, your movie central. Welcome back to What to Watch Weekends. My name is Nathan, the host of the show.
My name is Walter.
And you are not the host.
I am not the host.
But you are the unofficial co-host. So that counts for something.
Yes.
And speaking of counting for something, we've been talking about the Jurassic Park / World Series. And that sounds like I'm saying we're talking about the Soccer World Series or something like that. But we're not going to talk about the Soccer World Series. And we're not going to talk about the Jurassic Park or World movies anymore. Well, we are going to mention them. But
yes,
I have wanted to talk about something else.
You've been keeping this as a surprise this whole time.
I have, yes.
I thought it was Velocipaster.
No.
But I'm wrong.
Yeah, you're wrong. But, okay, so I guess a bit of context. I suppose speaking in terms of it counts for something, this is going to be dinosaur related. It's not going to be Velocipaster, but it will be dinosaur related. It is a dinosaur movie, and it did come out in relation to one of the Jurassic movies. So let's back up, I believe, to June. Let me double check when the newest Jurassic World came out very quickly. Jurassic World Rebirth came out in July. Okay, so let's back up to July instead. Close enough. Close enough. So, back in July of this year, the newest movie in the Jurassic World movie series came out, which was Jurassic World Rebirth. My aunt took me to go see it, and we watched it. I thought it was fine. I may have said it was better than I actually thought it was, just to not have her go, "What? You didn't love it with all your heart and soul?" And it's just like, okay, because she can be kind of sarcastic like that. So, I just didn't want the sarcasm that day. Because she's very heavy on the sarcasm, so I don't want it every day. But that's besides the point. The real point is that when we went to see Rebirth, I remember seeing in the theater a preview for a movie called Primitive War. This stuck out to me because the movie was advertised as being an adjacent to the Jurassic Park series, but not really. It's kind of almost a competitor. It was played during the advertisements, not during the trailers, during, the Dairy Queen advertisements or the car commercial segment of the ads in the movie theater.
Yeah, so just the name Primitive War makes me think Jurassic Park, but for cave people.
Okay, no, but
yeah, but we have that. It's called Encino Man.
I've never seen Encino Man, but I know exactly what that's about. It's about them unfreezing the caveman. It's the classic plot line. Okay, yeah. The point is, Primitive War was shown in the trailers. Its trailer was shown during the advertisements, and it was marketed as this kind of indie movie that had more realistic looking dinosaurs and was set in the Vietnam War. Okay. You have no reaction. You look like you've just gotten confused.
Yeah.
Did I reset your brain there for a second saying
little.
that out loud?
Yeah.
Okay.
Immediately me going from thinking about, caveman to actual war.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Okay. So here's what ended up happening, right? I kept Primitive War in the back of my mind after we saw the movie because I even we went to like a California pizza kitchen after watching the movie and met up with my mom and brother. And I'm just sitting there like Googling Primitive War just to have it on my list of things I want to watch because it looked kind of interesting. It was like based on a book. It was supposed to be more accurate dinosaurs set in the Vietnam War. It was meant to be kind of a more violent indie take on dinosaurs that was a different flavor than the usual Jurassic fare, because usually the Jurassic movies play it generic and safe. And I've always wanted a movie that took dinosaurs in a different approach. Rather than looking at them from a scientific perspective, I've wanted to see the more combative nature of it. I've wanted to just see a movie where essentially it turns into a video game like the movie Aliens, where they just go around shooting dinosaurs. You know?
Right.
Because who doesn't want that?
Yeah.
Because I do have the mind of a teenager as a 21-year-old man. But that's besides the point. I have always wanted to see that to some capacity. I even like a video game called, I think, Second Extinction that is quite literally that. You just run around shooting dinosaurs. So it's a very specific, like, I suppose, fantasy of mine to see that done in a movie. And I wasn't going to pass up on the opportunity to see it in a theater. So fast forward to August when the movie's supposed to come out. And I'm visiting some friends in town in Washington. Not going to dox that. And we're like, let's go see Primitive War. I was the one who said, let's go see Primitive War. My friends went along with it because half of them were like, that sounds interesting and kind of funny. And the others were like, that's stupid. Let's do it. So we tried going there, and the movie theater we go to isn't even showing it anymore. It has a very limited run of about 5 days because it's an independent movie. And I'm just like, that sucks. Well, I have to plan around this now. When am I going to be able to go and see it? And so we aren't able to go see it I'm not able to go see it with my friends. So I managed to find a way to go see it at the South Center Mall. And this is like a couple days before I'm going to come back here to Central when I'm staying at my parents' over the summer, right? I think it's actually the night before I'm supposed to leave to come back to Central in August because I'm on summer vacation and I'm staying in my apartment for summer vacation, right? So I'm about to spend my last night with my parents over the summer watching a movie about dinosaurs in Vietnam. Okay?
Okay.
So what do you think the end result was?
Oh boy. I know when I show my parents stupid movies, I always get the same reaction of, this was really dumb. Why did you show us this?
Now, keep in mind, I went to go see this by myself.
Yeah.
But yes, that was my reaction.
Yeah.
My reaction was, that was stupid.
That was stupid.
Why did I go and watch it? But, I mean, at the same time, okay.
Let me look up what this looks like.
Yeah. You do that. Because I want to preface this next part. I could just go off on a rambling tangent, or I could do something really funny and read to Walter something very specific that I have written down, which is my entire Letterboxd review that I did on this movie, sitting in the parking lot at the South Center Mall after watching it right before heading home. It was like 10 o'clock at night. I'm sitting in my car with the data turned on and my battery about to run out, sitting there writing a review for Primitive War. Which, by the way, I gave 2 out of 5 stars, but I gave it a heart, like a like, on Letterboxd.
Okay.
A little orange heart with 2 out of 5 stars. So you've seen what the movie looks like?
Yes, I'm looking at screenshots of it right now.
Yeah, they made the raptors look feathery like the actual birds that are supposed to be the accurate ones. They just have the normal-looking T-Rexes.
It's this goofy screenshot of like a raptor, but with like a knife stabbed in its head.
Yeah, wait, I want to see this.
Yes.
Let me see.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yep, that's the one. That's the one. Oh man, how could I forget that moment? Okay, so just to make this easier on myself, because I didn't even write notes for this, I figured, Walter, how about I just read you my Letterboxd review? How about I do that?
Sounds good.
Cool.
Yeah.
So let's get into this. Man, that was stupid, but I loved it. The sound mixing was abysmal half the time. The dialogue was barely tolerable. None of the good sound effects synced up with the image. But then again, neither did the bad sound effects, so I guess that evens out. The CGI was so schlocky, it was good. Was there a story to critique? Apparently. When you introduce your villain 20 minutes from the end, you've definitely failed on making anything groundbreaking, that's for sure. Camaraderie among Vietnam soldiers. How stupid, as I put it. Music was actually kind of good, mostly because 2 of the songs were covers of Creedence songs. Take a guess which ones. No, go on, guess. You'll definitely guess correctly on the first attempt. At least they were covers. Okay, this is the fun part of the thing. Take a guess which 2 Creedence Clearwater Revival songs they played.
The first one, gotta be Fortunate Son.
Yep.
And I don't know, Midnight Special?
Nah, Run Through the Jungle.
It's my second guess.
Yeah. See, you would have gotten it if I gave you like 3 guesses.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they were covers of those songs, but, Vietnam, we got to play Fortunate Son and run through the jungle. Better run through the jungle. Anyways, so, the best part was the lighting. You're stretching when you compliment the lighting in a movie, but it was actually really good lighting, minus the photosensitivity warning. Despite the flaws, which there are a lot of, I admit I enjoyed this. It didn't give me more than I expected, but at one point near the end, I was just laughing at the absurdity. It's a very entertaining movie, almost like a Universal Studios ride, except a Universal Studios ride would have a lot less F-bombs per minute. Again, I love this. It's horrendous, but I loved it. Watch it. It's so bad, you might love it. That is my Letterboxd review. Now, I'm going to break down a couple other things here. So, part of the issue with this movie is that it was written by a 14-year-old when it comes to the dialogue. Now, I'm just saying that from a analysis perspective, not a literal 14-year-old. I mean, it feels like it was written by a 14-year-old because they use so many swear words and it's so juvenile and basic. It's like a 14-year-old read, I don't know, We Were Soldiers or something like that Vietnam book you read in high school about the Vietnam War, and then you try to emulate that style, but you can't do it because you're not good at it. And it's just like, oh, this is dumb. Yeah. I will say this much. The Raptors sure had feathers. Cool. I will say it was kind of satisfying to watch them get slaughtered. But at the same time, I mean, the sound design was so over the top. It was exactly the kind of phenomenon where at first you're like, wow, these gunshots are way too loud and it's kind of funny. But the longer it goes on, it just gets very exhausting.
Very just annoying.
To listen to. Very annoying to listen to. And it's just so shallow and sharp to the point where it just starts to hurt your ears while watching it. It's just like, oh, this just doesn't work. I'll say this much. The actors were hired by a production company to act in front of a camera. Yep. The acting wasn't very good, in my opinion, but it was just also they all just kind of sucked. None of them were really. It was clear they were either reading their lines or they were overdoing it. It was like the guy who said "I am God" in Black Friday, but toned down maybe 4 notches. But that's because he was so over the top bad that it's like anything is an improvement over that,
Yeah.
Yeah. What?
I'm just thinking of that, but imagine him as a soldier fighting dinosaurs.
Yeah. Yeah. Where they have actual camaraderie and association with each other, which is such a contrast from things like, I don't know, Apocalypse Now, where there isn't really any camaraderie among anybody. Or any Vietnam story. I mean, there is camaraderie, but it's also just this isn't, I don't know. I feel like in these kinds of situations, they wouldn't be as supportive of each other as they were. Or more so, I think they just didn't know how to write chemistry between characters at all. So it came across as stupid. I think that's really the issue with it. It just wasn't good camaraderie. So I was just critiquing the camaraderie aspect of it, which I think is fair.
Yeah.
It's fine to critique them having camaraderie if it's badly written camaraderie. So there's that. What else? Oh, yeah. So I think part of the issue with this movie is that it was marketed as being a competitor to the Jurassic series and being a more accurate depiction of dinosaurs. And I wanted to bring this up with the first Jurassic Park, but I'll bring it up now. I don't care how accurate the dinosaurs are in a dinosaur movie. I care about, are they scary, intimidating, freaky to look at? Are they monsters? Who cares?
Right. That's just such a funny way to advertise your movie.
It's like, oh, it's accuracy. Who cares?
Who cares?
They're fossils now. And I am not fully convinced that we have assembled all the fossils from the dinosaurs correctly. I know people say, well, you just put them together like this. That still doesn't convince me. I'm kind of a stubborn rat when it comes to this kind of thing, and I will refuse to believe that we have assembled them correctly, even if you show me an actual dinosaur and go, look, the skeleton's assembled correctly. I don't care. I don't think we've done it correctly. How do we know that they have feathers? How do we know what their behavior is like? We weren't there. This was hundreds of millions of years ago. Hello? And also, why are we putting them in Vietnam War? Because time machine. Great idea, guys. Great idea. I'll give it this much. At least it's not genetic mutation. They at least did something different. But, time machine.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Stupid.
Okay, so I need to acknowledge the thing I said near the end of my review, where I'm saying that at some point I'm laughing at the sheer absurdity of it. As awful as this movie was, it was definitely a so bad it's good experience, if you can imagine this much. Because seeing how spectacularly it failed in nearly every single scene was very entertaining to me. It was definitely something I was expecting. This is like, how do I put it? This is quite legitimately top of the barrel when it comes to top of the bottom of the barrel of the Walmart bargain bin.
Oh boy.
Right?
Yeah.
So at some point in this movie near the end, this is a spoiler for Primitive War, by the way, in case you cared. There's a part near the end of this movie where there are two giant T-Rexes stampeding through a herd of tanks and just blowing up everything. And they're so poorly animated, and none of their footsteps are lining up with the sound effects that play of their footsteps stomping, and everybody's screaming, and all the sound design is so awful, and it's just like watching a Universal Studios Jurassic World ride where you're stuck at the very tippy top of the tower and you're just watching the Indominus Rex and the T-Rex interact with each other, and then you get stuck on that ride because some kid at the bottom while waiting in line decided to stick his hand in the water of the ride and had to hold up the entire ride, so you're just stuck in that room watching the T-Rex and the Indominus Rex animatronics roar at each other for like 4 minutes straight. By the way, this is not a joke. That has happened to me before. That is what this scene in this movie feels like. That is what that moment reminded me of, and during that sequence all I could do was laugh. All I could do was laugh.
I would have just lost it.
Yeah. Exactly. Have I convinced you to watch the movie?
I don't want to watch it. This sounds more of a warning than as a recommendation.
That's because it's not really a recommendation.
Yeah.
But you can at least understand the value of it being a so bad it's good movie.
Right.
I will say this much. It was probably the worst movie I'm going to go see in theaters this year. But dang it, if I didn't enjoy my time, I don't think I regretted it. I just think I regretted it in a different way. Right?
Right.
So, yeah. I thought that was fun to end it out, not talking about any other Jurassic stuff. So,
yeah.
Now that I've said my piece, I can go back to my home planet and leave all the dinosaurs behind. Yay! They didn't need to make more than the first movie. I mean, I'm someone who likes Godzilla movies, and I like big creatures. But honestly, Godzilla to me has more mineable potential, and it's also been around for a lot longer than the Jurassic series, and it's gotten more mileage out of stupider ideas than the Jurassic series could ever hope to achieve. The part of the issue is that the people who are making them just don't know how to take the correct risks, and anything they change up is just a stupid idea to begin with. Like, let's make the park open. Let's have it be on the same island. You're just mining nostalgia at this point, and you're changing the things that already worked with the original to be different for the sake of it. And even the newest one, it just was like so generic and bland. And the more I look at it, the more I realize it's just stealing moments from the other movies. But now they're mutated dinosaurs. And I'm just like, I don't care. I don't care about this thing that looks like it's from Cloverfield. Like, this just looks like Cloverfield dinosaur. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That, to me, it just looks like the Cloverfield monster, but a dinosaur. What's the point of that? There is no point. Why would you go see Jurassic World Rebirth? Because it has Scarlett Johansson. That's not a good enough reason. That's not a good enough reason. Please stop making Jurassic World. Please make more Godzilla movies. I'm begging you. Make better Godzilla movies instead of more Jurassic series. It's run its course. It doesn't need to exist anymore. We can let it die. We can let it die.
For real.
Anyways, so that has been tonight's show. You look like you're about to say something.
I'm not.
Okay. Roar.
Say Godzilla World. I don't know.
Don't put ideas in their head. So, with all that being said, thank you for joining me on the show tonight, Walter.
It's always a pleasure.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'm glad my nonsense rants have still provided some form of entertainment for you. And that goes for you too, audience. Thank you all for listening in to What to Watch Weekends. I will be back next Wednesday from 8 to 9 p.m. here on 88.1 The Burg for What to Watch Wednesdays. And I'll also be back next weekend for another episode of What to Watch Weekends. We shall see when that happens. I don't know what the football schedule looks like anymore, but it might be on Saturday, might not. Tune in to What to Watch Wednesdays this upcoming Wednesday to find out what the schedule for weekends will be. That's what I'm going to say to that. At any rate, if you want to follow along with either show, please be sure to follow along at What to Watch Wednesdays, all one word, no caps, no spaces, on both Instagram and YouTube. And with all that being said, I will be back next Wednesday telling you all what to watch. Good night, everybody. You got anything left to say, Walter?
Peace.
Cool.